came here some years ago and there were some minstrels were playing. I don't know whether they actually stepped through some sort of time loop or something from the medieval times, from 1300, but they were very authentic. That's sort of a beautiful sky today, really. It's quite atmospheric. Look at those beautiful Gothic archways. Oh, really lovely. Get a photograph of that. This was the assembly rooms of the Abbey where announcements were made and discipline was enforced. Well, I bet you any money it wasn't writing lines either. Maybe they got flogged or cut the bread and dripping rations in half or something like that. The remains of an old support there. If you think we can tell these trees are hundreds of years old. So, I mean, that is one massive tree. So that's a horse. What is a horse chestnut? Conker tree? I don't know what you call it. I'll have to download that bloody app when I again. Point it at a tree and to tell you what tree it is. The monks' routine. They followed a strict daily timetable regulating every aspect of their lives. The monk's life was divided into day and night routines. Exactly like any normal person, really. Except we don't pray 5 hours a day. In this large day room, the monks may have copied manuscripts or mended their clothes. There are cupboards set into the wall on your right. The room was divided by columns and lit by 2 windows in the south wall. 11 hours prayer, sorry, 5 hours. What? I'd be a part-time monk, half a monk. 11 hours praying, 3 hours reading. I bet that's reading the Bible as well, isn't it? So technically 14 hours working, probably picking radishes or something, 3 hours a day, 2 hours eating, 5 hours sleeping. Oh my God. Mind you then, again, we're in the credit crunch. I mean, that's pretty much everybody else's, but everybody's praying that they can, most people in this country spending 11 hours a day praying that they can pay the bills and the electric and the gas and the petrol. They do a bit more than 3 hours work a day, obviously now. I think most people have to do 60 hours a week or something. Yeah, they'll probably sleep about 5 hours, though I bet you most people are having sleepless nights these days, so cut that down to about 2. And I don't think anybody's got any time for 3 hours reading, other than reading Twitter or bloody Instagram or whatever rubbish. But these certainly would have been magnificent buildings. Oh, but to have one of them virtual reality time machines and go back in time, that would be something else. If we all had a TARDIS. Of course, Doctor Who ended at the end with the last male doctor. We'll say no more about that. In my book, a doctor who is completely rubbish after. Never watched the current doctor, and I certainly won't be watching the next one. Woke bloody rubbish. These bloody woke tards. Very quiet. I don't think I'm the only person here. There's a couple just left. This is one of the quieter properties, but I highly recommend coming here. And I highly recommend membership of English Heritage and the National Trust. It's not expensive. For a couple, English Heritage is about £10 a month. That's nothing, is it? That's cheaper than bloody Netflix, let's face it. You know, and you actually go to real physical places, not just sit on your arse on a sofa with bloody nachos and popcorn or whatever crap. And you know, it goes to the upkeep of these fantastic ruins. You know, it's our heritage. So I highly recommend membership. Like I say, I think it's £10 for a couple. So I don't know if it's about half that for a single, I'm not really sure. It's not a lot of money. The National Trust is exactly the same as well, very similar price. You know, and the thing with the National Trust as well is if you go places in Cornwall and that, you know, you get free parking, which, you know, in the summer months can be very expensive. You can, you know, be expensive in the bloody winter, the autumn and the winter. I mean, the National Trust do get a bit of criticism, but, you know, without them, you know, these historic buildings which are really important and they should be open to the public for the public, you know, to enjoy and appreciate and learn from about our heritage, our history in this country, which goes back thousands of years. And without these organisations, it'd be lost, really. You know, rich bastards would be living in these places, you'd never see the inside of it. And I mean, you know, in all fairness, there's hundreds of, maybe thousands of properties that you'll never get to see the inside of, which are historically very important. I think the other organisation which is very good is Historic Houses, which is cheaper than National Trust, certainly. Highly recommend membership of that. I was a member for a couple of years. You'll get to see a lot of properties that you never normally get to see inside of. Sometimes they're only open a few times a year on bank holidays or things like that, but it's still worth the membership. I think my first year I paid about £60. Probably saw about 8 or 9 properties, so I certainly got my money back. It was worth joining, if you want to look at it that way. It's strange to think that all these places were pretty much shut up for 2 years during that COVID bloody rubbish. You hear the steam train in the distance. I'll have to Google this later. I wonder how many so-called holy relics there are in survival in the world. That'd be interesting. I wonder how many there are. Is it hundreds, thousands? Surely it wouldn't be thousands. It wouldn't have been enough, would it, to have a relic from? But it'd be quite interesting. I saw a copy of the Turin Shroud in Rome, which was quite amazing. And even that was supposed to be dated to 1400 or something like that, maybe earlier than that, I'm not sure. But it was very, very beautiful. We'll go in and have a little look in the museum, and I think I'll get a bottle of pop, and then we'll have a little look to see where we're going to head to next. It's quite early, it's only 11:30 in the morning, so this place opens at 10. That's pretty early. If you're going to do a good tour of places, you want to get there for opening time for the first place. So I'll look at my membership for National Trust later today, and I think rejoin that again now we've got some more time. Right, onwards and upwards. It'd be great, fly a drone over here.